So on the X, what that refers to is that critical point in execution when it's for all the marbles. You know, for us in our community as a SEAL, that might mean fast roping on top of a roof on a building you're about to assault. It might mean patrolling down the street and the enemy ambushes you. You're on the X. At that point, everything that you do, everything that you say matters in that moment. And in that moment, when the stakes are the highest, you need a process, a simple but effective process that anyone can learn and anyone can use. So what we're going to talk about is mostly individual performance. But what I think you'll see as we start to unpack this, you'll see the various layers that we have for the different leadership contexts, the different context of organizational and team development. And while it's about individual performance, I want you to keep in the back of your mind that everything we do is about people and it's about relationships. When I went through my basic selection process to be a SEAL, it's called Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training. And it's 6 months of very rigorous training. And it requires immense levels of individual effort. But they tell us from day one, you will not succeed, you will not graduate. You won't do great things as a SEAL by yourself, not without the people to the left and right of you. So I ask you to bear that in mind as we move out. You guys want to hear a war story? Should we start off that way? Yeah, anyone? See, you like how I created that illusion of choice, like I wasn't gonna tell you one anyway. So there I was. That's how any good Navy SEAL story starts, right? There I was, behind my brand new stand-up desk at a headquarters building in Virginia Beach. You know, the little office elves had set these things up because we're gonna be healthier now. Sitting is the new smoking, they told us. So we had these things, and I'm walking in there, and I'm trying to figure this thing out. All of a sudden, my boss comes over and he says, hey, we gotta go give a briefing to some senior military folks down in the conference room. You have to make some changes to your slides. You have 10 minutes. I'm like, 10 minutes, you serious right now? I'm like, all right, let's do this. Power on, log in, where's that PowerPoint slide? And at this point, I just want to sit down, right? So I'm gonna click the handles and I go to push the desk down, and when I do, it rips all the cables out of the back of the damn computer. Screens go black and I'm like, oh, darn. My heart starts racing, my palms are sweating. I'm stressed. I'm more stressed in my air-conditioned office behind my very desk than I was on my last combat deployment. It's laughable, right? I know. But I'm stressed because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of letting the boss down. I'm afraid of being unprepared, and I'm afraid of failing. But then I kind of snapped out of it. I'm like, you know, buddy, you've been trained to handle situations like this. So I plugged the wires back in, I went and I delivered. And the reason I tell this silly story is because it doesn't matter if you're a Navy SEAL getting shot at for the first time. It doesn't matter if you're a new manager leading a team. It doesn't matter if you, your team, your organization are going through some radical and dynamic change. It doesn't matter if you've had a stressful day and you're gonna put that hand on the doorknob to your house, to your front door. On the other side is a stressed out spouse and a couple of screaming kids. These are all high stakes moments. You're on the X. What you say and what you do in that moment matters. And so what I give you today is a process. There is nothing magic about this. It's so simple. But what we know to be true in the military is that for us to succeed when the stakes are the highest, we need something that's very simple and it's very effective, that we can apply holistically so we can succeed in any challenging situation, and we apply it consistently. A big breakthrough for me was when I learned that the things that are gonna help me succeed in combat are gonna be the same things that I can take with me to my most important and challenging leadership role, that of being a father. Because he absolutely is a tie-in because of the way your brain works. 2 jobs ago, before I was about to retire, right? I went up to the Navy's boot camp, basic training command up in Great Lakes, North Chicago. And it was my job to onboard new SEAL candidates, new SEAL recruits. And so they would come in and they would show up 2 hours before any of the other recruits on base woke up. And our job was to give them progressive run and swim training. Get them better on their feet, faster, more comfortable in the water, get them stronger with the push-ups and the pull-ups. But my most important role, as I saw it, was to get in here, was with the mentoring, the mental game, getting them to answer their why. And so I'd sit them down, their first mentoring session, crisscross applesauce. They'd be down and I'd hit them with something. I'd say, guess what? Most of you will never graduate. Most of you will never be Navy SEALs. Like, And they didn't want to hear it. They knew, though, that the attrition rate as low as 75%, as high as 90%. Their odds weren't super good. But they just didn't want to hear it, right? But I asked them, I was like, why do you think you're not going to be successful? Why do you think you won't make it? They'd always say the same things every class. Oh, we're not going to be fast enough. We won't be good enough in the water. We'll get hurt. We'll get dropped because we fail something. I'm like, okay. For some of you, maybe that's true. But for most of you, you will not graduate because the price of admission is higher than you're willing to pay. You think you want to do this right now, you're excited. But when you're in that moment, in that void where it's time to put the work in, you're going to forget that. You're going to forget the decision you made to commit to this. You'll find something easier to do. That's the bad news, right? The good news is all you have to do is commit. Be all in all the time. When you're not cold, wet, stressed, hungry, tired, write down, envision very viscerally what that finish line looks like. Understand that there's going to be obstacles. Visualize what there are going to be as well. And fully commit. And for those of you who do, you will find that you have made the right decision to see this program through. And so for us, for the things that we do that are slightly different, but every bit as important, this very simple process for how we commit is first we clarify that objective. We know where we are, and we know very clearly where we want to go. And we build that roadmap consisting of close, intermediate, and more long-term goals along the way. And we check in routinely with ourselves to make sure that what we're doing is still relevant. That our actions, that our behaviors are aligned with our personal values and beliefs, that are aligned with the organization, the teams that we belong to. And we make sure that we stick to that. Purpose, our sense of purpose. When we lack confidence, when we stumble, that's often the most important thing that gets fractured. We forget why we're important, why we matter, why what we're doing with our teams, with our organization, why that matters. We forget that. We start to lose our sense of purpose. And for those of us in a team or leadership setting, we know that we need to help validate that and revalidate that in the people that work for us and the people that work with us. We need to help them have that strong sense of purpose. And lastly, on the outset, before we're stressed, before we're challenged, we commit to persevering through the obstacles. We try to identify what we think those might be. So when we're back, when we're in that moment, and we're on that X, and something throws us, we're not back on our heels, deers in the headlight, right? We're like, okay, I was ready for this. I still made the right decision. I pull out my little book where I wrote it down. I'm like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I matter. This is why what I'm doing is important. And we commit.